For years, almost every kitchen brief I worked on started the same way. We want to knock it all through. Walls came down, kitchens merged with dining rooms and living spaces, and one big open plan room became the default ambition for pretty much any renovation. Lately, that's started to change. More of my clients are asking about keeping their kitchen separate from the rest of the house again, or at most combining it with a dining area or keeping the living room as a room in its own right. How open plan kitchens took over. If you've bought or renovated a home, certainly in the UK, over the last 20 years or so, there's a good chance open plan was on your wish list somewhere. And it made a lot of sense. Knocking through a kitchen, dining room and lounge into one space instantly made smaller Victorian or 1930s homes feel bigger and brighter. It also suited how a lot of us actually live, with cooking, eating, working and relaxing all happening in roughly the same area, often with kids or pets in the mix too. I think it's also fair to say that years of property and renovation shows on TV played a part as well. There always seemed to be a sledgehammer going through a wall at some point, and more open plan was shorthand for more modern. For a lot of homes, it genuinely was an improvement, but like most trends, it didn't suit everyone equally. And over time, some of the downsides have become harder to ignore. The trouble with one big room. Here's the thing about open plan living. Everything that happens in the kitchen is on show in the rest of the house too. Noise travels, an extractor fan, a dishwasher running, or pans clattering around doesn't stay neatly in the kitchen. It fills the whole space, including wherever everyone else is trying to watch TV, work, or just sit and read a book. Smells linger. Frying, grilling, or cooking with strong spices can leave a kitchen, diner, lounge smelling like dinner for hours, sometimes days. Without a door to close, there's nowhere for those smells to go but into the rest of the house. The mess is always on display. A big open kitchen often means you're washing up, prep mess and general clutter are visible from your sofa. And for a lot of people, that's a constant low-level stress they didn't sign up for. Heating one big volume costs more. A large open-plan space generally takes more energy to heat than the same square footage split into smaller separate rooms, simply because there's more air to warm and it's harder to keep that heat where you actually want it. And zero privacy for work or quiet time. With more of us working from home, at least some of the time, having a kitchen that opens straight into your office, also known as the dining room table, isn't always ideal. Now, none of this means that open plan is a bad idea. It just means it comes with trade-offs that aren't always obvious until you're living with them day to day. And I think it's a big part of why I'm hearing people want some of that space pulled back apart again, from one giant room to a kitchen diner. When clients tell me they want more separation, the most common request isn't actually a fully closed off kitchen. It's a kitchen diner. The kitchen and dining table together in one space, with the living room kept as its own room. I think it makes a lot of sense. Cooking and eating are naturally sociable. You're chatting while you cook, the kids are doing homework at the table, and everyone's in the same room for a good chunk of the day anyway. Combining those two feels quite natural. What changes is the living room. Instead of being part of that same space, it goes back to being its own room. Somewhere to properly relax without the extractor fan running, the bin being emptied, or last night's washing up sitting in view. In practice, this often just means not knocking the kitchen diner through to the lounge in the first place when you're renovating, or putting a wall, or at least some doors, back between the two if you've already got one big space. If you like the idea of opening things up occasionally for parties or when you've got people around, but want a separate living room day to day, a sliding or pocket door between the kitchen, diner and lounge gives you both options. Is the fully separate kitchen making a comeback too? For some households, even a kitchen diner is more kitchen than they want in their main living space, and I am seeing a few clients go back to a properly separate kitchen too. This trend actually comes up most in larger homes where there's enough room for a kitchen as its own space, plus a separate dining room or living area, sometimes with a utility room or scullery taking some of the overflow. There's also something to be said about being able to properly shut a door on a kitchen. If you've ever hosted and wanted to hide a sink full of pots before dessert, you'll know exactly what I mean. That said, I wouldn't usually recommend a fully separate kitchen for smaller homes. If you've only got room for one sociable space, combining the kitchen with at least the dining area tends to make better use of it than splitting everything into smaller, individually less useful rooms. The design features behind the Cosy Kitchen Comeback. Whether you're going for a kitchen diner or a properly separate kitchen, there are a few specific features I'm seeing come up again and again with clients who want their kitchen to feel a bit more cozy and a bit less showroom. A return of the scullery or walk-in pantry, pushing prep, storage and the ugly small appliances into a separate scullery or pantry keeps the main kitchen calmer and tidier. Also means the main space doesn't need to be quite as large since it's not trying to do absolutely everything. Smaller, more characterful islands. The trend for years was bigger islands. Now I'm having more conversations about smaller islands or even no island at all in favor of a proper table or a built-in banquette that people actually want to sit at. Speaking of, dedicated banquette seating and breakfast nooks. A built-in bench with cushions tucked into a corner or under a window instantly makes a kitchen feel more like a room you want to linger in rather than just pass through. And warmer colours and materials. Deep greens, terracottas, warm timber, and richer worktop materials are replacing some of the all-white, all-grey schemes that dominated open-plan kitchens for so long. These colours tend to feel more enclosed, even in a larger room. Is open-plan still worth considering? I don't want to come across as open-plan bad, separate kitchens good, because that's not really my view. For some households, full open plan is still genuinely the right call. If you've got young kids and you want to be able to see them from the kitchen while you cook, or you love hosting and want guests to be able to chat to you while you're at the hob, an open layout still does that better than anything else. It can also be the only sensible option in smaller homes, where splitting a single living space into multiple small rooms will just leave everything feeling cramped. The cozy kitchen trend isn't really about telling everyone to shut their kitchen away. It's more about being honest about how much you actually want your kitchen blending into the rest of your living space, rather than defaulting to as open as possible, because that's what felt modern a decade ago. How to bring some cozy back without a full renovation. Not everyone's in a position to start moving walls around or creating pocket doors places. There's still plenty you can do to make an open plan space feel less like one giant room. Create a clear living zone using a rug, a sofa positioned with its back to the kitchen, or a bookshelf to mark the transition where the kitchen diner ends and the lounge begins. You could vary your lighting with warmer, lower level lamps in the living area and brighter task lighting kept closer to the kitchen and the worktops. Bring in soft furnishings, cushions, curtains and throws all help a large space feel less hard-edged and echoey, especially in the living zone. You could use furniture to create a sense of enclosure, a freestanding two-sided shelving unit, a sideboard, or even a large plant can help break up sight lines between cooking and relaxing areas without committing to a full wall. And simply choosing warmer colours on cabinetry or walls, even one wall in a deeper tone can make a big open room feel more grounded. I think the Cosy Kitchen Comeback says more about how we want to feel in our homes than it does about layouts specifically. After years of chasing big, bright, open spaces, a lot of us are realizing that open isn't the same as comfortable. If you're planning a renovation, it's worth asking yourself how much of your home you actually want your kitchen to be part of. So if you could have any of these layout combinations, what would you go for? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll like this one, where I go into open plan versus closed plan kitchens in a bit more detail. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.